All right, here we go. Welcome, you guys. Welcome to Doing It Raw Relationship Goals.
Welcome.
Oh my gosh, what a journey it's been. This podcast has been nothing but amazing.
Yep.
It's crazy. But I'm a little nervous
Why?
because our guests are so cool.
Yes, they are.
They
They
are
definitely
so
are.
cool. So, we have some very special guests today, and I don't know why I'm so nervous, but I'm like, they're just so cool. I just
Yeah. For those listening or watching this, I believe this is a podcast that everybody needs to like pay attention.
yeah. If you haven't paid attention to anything else, like, fine. This one, please, like the whole time, don't even leave to the restroom. Like, just pay attention because they have an incredible story.
Hmm.
They are just a great couple. I'm telling you, they're just super cool, and I'm like, I'm so nervous. But without further ado, let's go ahead and welcome our couple here. You want to say their names?
Junior and Karla.
Yes.
Yay! Welcome in, you guys. Welcome to our podcast, Relationship
Thank you.
Goals.
Hello.
Well,
Glad to
doing
be
it raw
here.
relationship
Yes.
goals.
You said Junior and Carla, and I don't use Google Meet often. So I saw that my name just had my name, and I saw Moises and Bree, and I'm over here trying to look as y'all are speaking. How can I change it to Junior and Carla? But
Gotcha.
It's okay. But thank you for having us. We are glad to be here.
Yeah, and we were talking a bit before the podcast, and you were sharing a bit of your story. And I mean, we met you both in May at
In
Surrender to
May.
Rise, right? And we just got to get acquainted really quickly in a 10-minute discussion, and just hearing your guys' story, uh, Junior, with everything that you went through and still having a relationship, we were like,
I mean,
what?
like, I heard Junior talk about his wife, and I was like, I need to meet her. Like, where is she? And then, like, she showed up on Sunday, and I was like, I need to talk to her. I need to talk to her.
Very good.
Because it was just it. I mean, they do say like it takes a strong woman to handle everything that she had to handle with your guys' relationship, and I mean, you, Junior, just like everything that you've been doing and stuff. I'm just like, I'm telling you, that's why I feel like you guys are so cool because I'm like, wow, like relationship goals for sure.
Yep,
Yeah, appreciate
100%.
it.
thank you, appreciate that.
So, if you don't mind taking us kind of through a time loop of your guys' relationship, where you all started, what happened, maybe your biggest challenge that you went through. Touch on that a little bit and how you went through it as a couple.
Okay.
Okay, you go, ladies first.
This first, okay. I'll give you kind of a rundown of how we met. We actually met because of a tragedy. So it's a family tragedy. I don't know if he spoke on his brother's story. Okay. So basically, it was
right,
that
yeah.
Yeah.
the during the that period of time, it was the the kid that his brother was defending in a fight was my brother.
Hmm.
So they were friends, and that's how we ended up meeting during the funeral, during the whole process. I met him, and I liked him. I was 12 years old. This is 32 years ago. I just thought he was so cute, and I mean, I was a little girl. I didn't know any better.
You know, you see how she's speaking in the past tense, liked.
Oh, snap.
Because she loves you now.
Yeah,
Hello.
exactly.
He was so cute. Oh my god. So, yeah. And so anyway, so it was just kind of like my brothers were friends with him and his brother, and so we just kind of grew up together. But I don't know, he just didn't give me the time of day.
Yeah.
It's just too cool for me. I was just a little girl.
Kind of hard to get, Junior. Look at that. I get it though. I get it. I did the same.
Interesting.
So
We grew up around each other more so because we didn't talk very often. You know, when I would go to her brother's house and she would be there stalking me, but I didn't really see her stalking me. Nah, just so I used to. I didn't know that. I wish she would have revealed that to me, but I used to tell her brother like, "Hey, what's up with your sister, man?" He's like, "Man, you better stay away from my sister and this and that. And I was like, okay, okay. Well, out of respect for my friend, I would just admire from a distance, you know. But then at the same time, she was, you were 12.
Yeah.
And then by the time I really just started noticing her, really, she was like 13, 14. I was 2 years older. So at by that time, just say 16, now she's 14. I really could not even get near her legally, right? And it's like, so I had to just stay away. But yeah,
You
that's
have to
pretty
be
much,
patient.
Yep.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But
That is so cool. I love that. I love that that you guys known each other like so long, um and kind of grew up together in a sense.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
That's
that's
like one of those Hallmark movies that I love to watch. Where it's like, oh, we've known each other forever and like,
Yeah.
we came together and but keep going, keep going.
no. I mean, that's pretty much the foundation of how we met, you know. And then of course I was out there doing dumb teenage things. After my brother passed away, I just, you know, really just became an angry teenager, just doing things that led me to a situation in my life that and she was also pretty much a part of that as well.
Yeah, I was a part of that. So
So I mean, y'all know my story as far as being incarcerated, getting sentenced to 345-year sentences, and she was also at the trial when they sentenced me, and that's probably when I went to jury trial, her brother was also my co-defendant, the same brother that was, you know, that my older brother was defending at the time that passed away. So she was there at trial because when they took us to trial together, there was three of us sitting right next to each other. And so since her brother was also in going to trial, she was there. That's probably
Oh,
the
okay.
first time. What was it, like in 1998, 1999 January? And and keep in mind, we knew each other since 93. And it wasn't until then that she actually knew my real name. My first name is Candelario, and she just always knew me as Junior. Just thought that was my name until she heard it being called by the judge, maybe.
yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
you got
Yeah.
the wrong guy.
I was like, Candelario. That doesn't look like a Candelario. He looks like a junior to me. But
Yeah.
that was probably also the first time that I actually looked at him differently. Like I had a crush on him. Like I felt like it was a kid, puppy love for when I bet. That was probably the first time that I looked at him differently. I was 18 at that time, and I saw him differently.
Mm.
Yeah,
You did.
but it was kind of it's probably too late. it was too late. We flirted a little bit. It was
Yeah, yeah, we
It's too
did.
late.
Yeah,
You guys are so cute.
it was too late at that time, or it wasn't a right time because I'm in the
Uh-huh.
middle of the jury trial. One, two, I was married, and I had gotten
What?
yeah, I had gotten married with somebody I was 19 and she was 25. Does that story sound familiar?
That
So,
sounds very
Ay.
familiar.
no,
Hey.
she was like 5 years older than me as well. So but the thing is, I only knew her for like 3 months, 3 months. And then I don't know if I was going through a time in my life where, you know, hey, I have a certain amount of time to live because I felt like I'm facing these charges and I'm facing
Mm.
5 to 99, and ended up getting married, and she ended up getting pregnant, and I had when I went to trial, she was pregnant with my son that's right now 25. So when Karla and I first like at trial, she didn't know I was married until I think her brother told her.
yeah.
He's like, hey, what? She told him, hey, I said, because I bonded out. I was the only one that was out on bail, and I was go to trial, going home, go to trial, and then so he's like, hey, Junior's married. So yeah, I was married. That's why I said it wasn't it wasn't just it wasn't the right time, right? So we did say a few words, but little we did flirt a little bit, even though I was married. I'm keeping it raw, right? That's what
There
we're
you go.
doing.
No judgment here, Junior. No judgment here.
I even told her at trial whenever I remember specifically did you sit next to me at the outside when we were waiting or
I
something?
think so. Yeah.
And
In the hallway, it was packed, and there was not a seat. There was one next to him, so I went and sat next to him.
and I was like, you're trying to get me in trouble coming over here dressed like that. That's
Dang.
So,
They got that game. You got that
Get
game.
him.
so, so, anyways, yeah. So we ended up got sentenced. Didn't obviously I went to prison. I think it was 7 years in is whenever I went back on my jury trial because I had my case on appeal. Mainly, I was trying to appeal the organized crime charge, because ours was aggravated assault, serious bodily injury, but it was enhanced to organized crime, which made it a first degree felony. So that's the main thing I was trying to fight. But during one of those times, I went back to Dallas County on bench warrant. I asked Karla to come see me. She was just happened to be at my mom's office, or you or your mom was at my mom's office, and I just sent a message to Karla, and we talked on the phone. I asked her to come see me. I remember her saying, "What for?" And I was like, "Good question. I don't know what for, but just I haven't seen you in forever." By that time, I had already been divorced. I mean, like 2 years, 2.5 years into my incarceration, I got divorced with my previous wife, and so, anyways, I kept in contact with my son, obviously, and that's it. And then Carla came to see me in the Dallas County Jail, and she did not stop coming to visit me after that.
Oh,
There
look
you
at
go.
Carla.
Yeah.
That's so cute.
Uh, so so basically, that's kind of where the relationship started, with the community, with the phone calls, and then I finally went to see him after he asked a few times. I finally went to see him, and then I just kept going, and it just went from there. I would every weekend.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So the story is he had been in prison for 7 years by then, and then during that time from our relationship to when he came home, 15 years went by. I mean, I was constantly going to visit him every weekend for 15 years. We ended up getting married through proxy, which, his mom stood um, on his behalf. And
Mm.
it was just like a courthouse thing. And I know nowadays they do it differently in the prison system, but back then it was the way it was in.
Yeah.
And
So how does that work? Like how does that whole like thing work? Where like, oh, we want to get married and stuff? Because I mean, obviously, like not everybody knows that. I have no idea, and I would kind of like to know how that works.
okay. Well, no, I mean, technically, you just did you have to put in paperwork? I think he had to put in paperwork with the unit he was in, the prison he was in at that time.
Mm.
And then it's kind of like a very like anything. I had to go to the county, file an application with his power of attorney that he gave his mom. Then I submitted that. Then we had like 72 hours, and then we could set up the appointment to for marriage. It's very simple. It's the same way,
Yeah.
except
Oh, okay.
Also, I mean, they are in Texas, so it was kind of like how we did it,
Yeah.
yeah,
except without the power of attorney.
yeah, except
Yeah.
for the power of attorney, he had to do a
Yeah.
power of attorney.
Yeah.
But the relationship was very, you know, a lot of communication. Like, I mean, that's the only way that's all we had really, communication.
Yeah.
So we just communicated constantly, every day communicated. And then when we kind of figured we had fallen in love, we had a conversation, like a serious conversation. And he gave me his expectations of, hey,
Wait, what?
like,
Junior gave you his
Dang.
expectations?
his expectations as far as, hey, I'm in prison, just so you know, I don't come
Oh,
up
gotcha.
parole until this time, and this is something serious. It's not a game. Marriage is not a game, and it's very serious if this is the route you want to go. But you know, loyalty, everything you're expected in a marriage, commitment, loyalty. I mean, those
And
expectations.
to
Yeah.
to give it some context, is because not all marriages, but some marriages in prison, guys don't care if their wives are out there dating other guys while they are incarcerated, because
No
they feel like,
way.
hey, she's sending me money to my books. The books is your commissary, which is basically like your debit account, and
Yeah.
you have to go spend and buy groceries and stuff. If she's coming to visit me and writing me letters, then she's being loyal, right?
Mm.
But so my expectations were, we're married. It doesn't matter if I'm incarcerated or not. Are you sure you want to do this? Because while there is a slight chance of an appeal where it might be able to get a time reduction, the facts are stacked. I mean, the odds are stacked against me, and the facts are that I don't see parole until 2021, and this
Yeah.
was 2006, 2007 when we're speaking about this. And so, like, we can stay cool, we can stay friends, and when I get out, then you know. But she was like, "No, I think I can do this," and I'm like, "Oh, I love you. I definitely want to do this, but I just want to make sure that you know what you're getting yourself into."
Yeah, yeah. I I feel that. And I kind of wanted to ask you, Junior, because you so you had already been married before, but it seems like your mindset kind of shift with marriage, right? Because I got married when I was 18. Like my first marriage was at 18, and I feel like it was like kind of the same thing where I just didn't know where I was going, and obviously I wasn't going to jail, but I just didn't. I felt like I needed a protector in my life, so I got married.
Yeah.
Right? But that marriage, like, I always call it like a Kardashian marriage because it was like in and out kind of
Without the
thing.
fancy stuff.
Yeah, without all the money. Just kidding. Like, it lasted nothing. It was like months of a marriage.
Oh,
Um, so when I met him, like he always said, I don't want to get married, and I told myself the same thing. Like I'm never going to get married because I was already married before, and it was just not a good thing. And then coming from divorced parents, it was like,
yeah.
like, oh, like
Yep.
marriage is not good. But you guys, like, I don't know, tell me how did that shift for you from getting married at a young age, going through divorce, and then now finding what seemed like the love of your life.
Yeah.
Since you were little, you just didn't know.
Yeah. So I also said that. I also said when I get married, even before I was married the first time, I used to always say I'm gonna stay married because I didn't want to do divorce, right? And then when
Yeah.
I did get the divorce, I also said the same thing. It's like, man, it's just that's it, right? There's no sense of getting remarried. But um, I also with Karla, it was different. You know, it was like she's always been there, and it was like one of those things. Is like it's right in front of your face, and I didn't really realize it, you know, until I was not. I mean, I always found her attractive, and I just never really realized that there would be an opportunity because even though she now says that, hey, I had a crush on him, she never revealed it. She never gave me any clues
Of
at
course
all.
not.
You know? So it's like, had I had an inkling of I probably would have definitely pursued something before I was incarcerated. But when I saw that, it was like, and it kind of brings everything to perspective in a sense. Like, it's unfortunate that it was a tragedy that my brother passed away where we met, but you know sometimes tragedies happen and there's a reason, not to say hey this was the reason, but maybe it is part of the reason, it is part of the plan, right? And so it just all lined up perfectly because whenever she was like, yeah, we can do this, I'm ready to do that. Okay, so talk to my mom, that my mom would stand in my place as proxy at the court building. So we're like, okay, so what date do we pick? What date? Because she had a daughter from her previous marriage,
Mhm.
which so and she was 4 years old. She was three
Just three.
when we first started speaking, but then when we decided to get married, she had already turned 4, and my son was 7, and she was 26, and I was 28. And when those days, 26 to 28, man, that just sounds like so long ago.
You know, it's crazy.
but, but, but so then I've always been a numbers guy, and I was like, to me, when numbers match up, yeah, I mean, it's like everything's aligned. So one day I'm literally sitting on my bunk in prison, and I'm looking at this Salvation Army. The Salvation Army, you know, they donate a lot of things to the prisons, and one of the things they donate is a calendar. And I'm looking at the calendar, and this was like what the December of 2006 maybe or something, or and I'm looking like, what day do we get married? Because she's like, what day do we get married? Like, I wanted it to mean something. I didn't just want to pick the 72 hours after we apply with the state or with the county, or let's do it, right? I wanted it to mean something. And so to me, it landed perfectly. It's like on April, I landed on April. for the fourth month of the year, and it was Jocelyn was 4 years old, and it was '07, 2007. My son was 7 years old, and the 27th day of that month, 26 and 28, 54, and it was like divided that's 27. And I was like, oh snap, this might be it. This might be the day, April 27, because it kind of like brought the whole family together. It's like us, our kids, and it's like it's perfect. It has to be that day. So then I told her, babe, this is the day that we can get married. Let's see if we can make it happen now. And we were able to make it happen. And for 2707, it's like, to me, everything was lining up perfectly. It's like, okay, let's do it. Let's do it.
Nice.
I
That's
love
awesome.
that. That's super cool. I'm gonna start looking at every date like that now.
Look at
To
it.
be weird,
Like,
to be a bit weird, our dates lined up with a horror movie that now has a special place in my personal heart. I don't know if
Okay.
you've ever seen the movie It.
Kid,
It.
The
it's
clown.
Yeah, It the Clown Pennywise. Because we got married September 10th. My bachelor party was literally just going to the movies to watch It. Um, and then that was through the legal marriage, through the court marriage. Then we got married through the church 2 years later. And guess what? It Chapter 2 came out.
there
wow,
you go. There's a meaning.
wow.
They're like, hey, you know what? Something a scary clown is attached to our marriage in some way, shape, or form.
Not to me, to his side of the marriage.
His side of the story.
I'm
So
like,
do y'all like the movie? It?
I like it.
he loves it. Like that's why both like his bachelor party was literally going to the movies with his friends
Yeah.
and watching that movie, and I was like, absolutely not. Like,
No,
no.
you went. You mean you had your bachelorette party
Yeah, but not
at a
at the movies
restaurant?
watching it.
And she don't
And
like
then it comes out again, and he's like, "Oh, I'm going." I was like, "Have fun."
she doesn't like scary movies. I do, but she does not. But
Yeah.
so yeah, that's how everything lined up for us, and it actually happened that we actually have a tattoo tomorrow for 2707. But
Nice.
yeah, how do
Yeah.
you feel about that?
So it just everything lined up. I mean, we were talking in December, about getting married, and 4 months later, 5 months later, April is when we, So it wasn't rushed. It was like we really thought about
Yeah.
this. It was
Uh-huh.
such a huge commitment,
Yeah.
because marriage is a commitment itself. But when you're marrying someone in prison, it's like, wow,
Yeah, that's a whole other story. Like,
That,
even you just mentioning about going every weekend for 15 years, I'm like, wow.
yeah.
Like, how did you even get through that
I
by
mean,
itself?
it was so difficult. It was heartbreaking at times. It was exciting at times. It was I don't know. It was a roller coaster. Every weekend was a roller coaster. Um, there was times that it was raining or snowing. Sometimes I would
Mm.
drive the day before if I knew it was going to snow. Stay at a hotel, and then I would visit him the next day. Um, it was just a lot that went through. There was times that I didn't want to go. I would cry all the way over there, and then there was times that I was there and I didn't want to leave. It was an emotional roller coaster. Definitely.
That's
I think the only time, I don't
commitment.
want to say but I think the last year, because of COVID, they shut down the prisons and we couldn't visit. So that's the only year that I didn't go see
Mhm.
him, because we weren't allowed. The minute they opened up visitation,
Mhm.
I visited him once and then he came home.
Yeah.
Nice.
So yeah.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, but
Oh,
that
That
was
is
wow.
difficult too, because I would be like, oh, I'm tired. I would get so tired. I don't want to go. And then they shut down because of COVID, and I'd be like, oh my God, I can't believe I can't see him. And yeah.
that is I don't even know what the word is, but that is commitment. That is like the when commitment is defined, Carla's picture is there.
Right.
And it
Yeah.
wasn't like it was close. I mean, he was at a place where we were 3 hours away. And then he was moved to a place where he was like 2.5 hours. And then he was lastly moved to where another unit, South Texas, where he was 4 or 5 hours away.
Mhm.
4 or 5 hours away. At that one, I had to fly. I would fly to a nearest airport in the night, visit him. It was an
Yeah.
expense.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no, I bet. And
Investment, like not just money wise, but emotionally, physically. Like, you literally invested your all into this relationship. And that's why I was like, you guys need to come on because we talk so much about investment, but you're just like over the top, Carla. Like I don't know if I could do that. Like literally, I would be like, absolutely not.
Well, Junior, that's a key for me to not go to prison. So,
No, it's funny you said that because I tell him now. I tell him like, oh, I couldn't do it again. It's so difficult. It's so hard.
It's kind of hard to believe that. Sometimes it's kind of hard to believe that it was us when we share our story and just the our time doing time or having a marriage while incarcerated. It's sometimes it's a bit difficult to believe that was us.
Yeah.
You know, it's like when I tell somebody I did 23 years in prison, I was like, I did that much time because it doesn't. I don't feel
Yeah,
it right now. Thank you, Lord, right, that I don't feel it.
mhm.
But
yeah,
and even like, man, you waited 15 years. You came to visit me every weekend. It's like, wow, that's insanity, right? Like,
Hmm.
but
I
but
feel it. My back feels.
I mean, that's to me. That's she might say she feels the time, but I feel
Yeah.
like the age. Yeah, some days I
Yeah.
get
Yeah.
up and I'm like,
Mhm.
man, I'm this age, which I will not disclose for purposes. Yeah,
No,
You're
but I
25.
agree with you.
not.
You're 25.
I do agree. There's times where I can go back and I'm like, man, I can't believe I did that. How
Yeah,
did I do it? How in the world? And why
yeah.
in the world? You know, you would put yourself willingly through something like that. Like I get it if he had been out here and we were already together, we were married, like you guys. But no, he was already in prison when I
Mhm.
decided to marry him
yeah,
And
to him.
that type of relationship, how you all built it and it's lasted up until this point, that is with all the hurdles that you went through. Carla, specifically with you, right? Because women tend to have this fairy tale of a marriage, like the perfect guy, Prince Charming, whatever it may be. And nowadays, I don't know if you've seen people in the dating world or in current relationships, specifically in our demographic, they're breaking up over the simplest things. They're not communicating. It's like, you better come already prepackaged a Ken doll for me. If not, it's like, you're done.
yeah,
But no, you all started with challenges already.
Mhm.
The connection, right? The physical connection, all of the communication, everything that goes into building a relationship. There was a hurdle for each and every one,
yeah.
but you surpassed it, and that is commendable. That is
Mhm.
something that is like blew our mind. I'm like, they did it.
Yeah, like yeah, I mean, it's incredible, you guys. Like seriously, you have no idea. Even you just coming here and talking about this, because I know that you guys go talk to couples in like of somebody that's been in prison, right? Uh, but now you guys sharing it with everybody else, it's like I feel like it's going to make a difference for other couples because if I were to be struggling and be like, you know what, I want to leave my husband, and then I hear your story, I'll be like, why am I even complaining that he's leaving his socks on the floor? You know what I mean? Like, it's amazing. Like, it's huge that you're willing to share this part of your life and your story, your relationship, because, like we said, couples just split over anything nowadays.
Yeah,
Yep.
I totally agree. And that's how we view things. Where everything that we've gone through in life, collectively, individually, it was not necessarily for us even, but more so for others, right?
Mhm.
And we would be doing our journey, and maybe even others, a disservice if we were not to share it. So it's like, what's the purpose? What's the objective? Because believe me, there's been plenty of times I ask God, like, why?
Yeah.
Why did this happen? Why? So the purpose, in my opinion, is to share it. But yeah, we go back to the prisons, inside of the prisons, and we do marriage seminars and try to encourage others because those are the kind of activities we would participate in while we were incarcerated. And I'll use the phrase "we" because I mean she did time with me. So
Mhm.
um, those are the things that we attended. We attended like maybe 7 or 8 marriage seminars, and while the story sounds great, like, hey, you waited 15 years. He came out and we had our dream wedding. right?
Yes.
We had our dream wedding, and we have a beautiful baby girl, Scarlett, now together. And but it wasn't easy, far from it. Believe me, before we got married, we're like, okay, we can do this. Yeah, we got this. And we know that we got to deal with incarceration. But what we did not factor in was all the other things that just basically bombarded us and
Mm.
was made things even more difficult. And it is truly, really is, I believe, by the grace of God that we are still even together at this point, that we survived incarceration. And those marriage seminars, when they happen at the right time, where Carla was just ready to let go, right?
Mm.
Like
Mhm.
she was ready to let go. And I somehow convinced her to come to the marriage seminar. Come to the marriage seminar just this weekend, right? If you, after the week, because it was a 3-day event, um, half a day Friday, all day Saturday, and until 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Sunday. And I was like, if you come and come Sunday, if you don't want to ever come back, I totally understand, right? And she would
Mhm.
come, and it was the really just God just pulled us through, and like, hey, we're gonna keep trucking along, we're gonna keep going. And then when we got to that point, we were just, and we was both of us, not just her, right? We were both
Mhm.
sometimes like just out of gas, because even though she's out here in the free world, my mind is also running rampant as well. Like, hey, is she really keeping it real? Is she,
Mm.
because I see these dudes in here talking about, oh man, my girl doing this, doing that, and it's like, man, I have a beautiful woman. She can have anybody, and but she chooses to have me while I'm in prison, that I cannot offer anything of value, right? And so my mind starts running wild as well. Insecurities start creeping in, and we start bickering. I call, she doesn't answer the phone, and I'm like, why didn't you answer the phone? And we
Yeah.
just start bickering from there. Or I don't call at a certain hour that I'm supposed to call. She's like, why didn't you call me? And I'm like, babe, there's a line.
Who else is visiting you?
Yeah, I'm like, there's a line. Oh snap!
Yeah, it was. It
There's a
was.
line of offenders waiting to use two phones, and there's a 150 people living in that one section. I was like, I couldn't make it to the phone on time, right? But I'm in line, right? I'm here now,
Yeah.
and so that just became fight after fight. So we're both ready to give up, and then sorry, I literally dropped a Mexican Coke all over us.
Well, take some time. Take some time
Yeah.
to.
This is like one of the best Cokes ever. I don't
Oh
really
yeah.
drink Cokes, but when I do, this is my preference.
Drink, but when I do, it's. Have you seen a commercial?
This is not a Coca Cola commercial.
Not sponsored.
Not sponsored.
Not a
Unless they
sponsor.
want to.
Hey.
I'll leave it out there for them to.
So, anyways, yeah,
Right.
those marriage seminars, when
Yeah.
they came at the right time. And we always said, hey, when we get out, we need to pay it forward. We need to pay it forward to the people that are in there, because we know how much it benefited us. And then also for the volunteers, because the volunteers, they give their time freely. They don't get paid
Hmm.
to go back into the prisons. They do it the goodness of their heart, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, we want the volunteers to also see the fruit of their labor.
Mm.
Yeah.
The fruit of the labor is by seeing us. We invited several
Several volunteers to our wedding,
to our
so they
wedding,
can
so
see
they can see
their
the
work,
fruit
their hard work.
Oh.
And we
Yeah.
invited a couple of wives too that we've known for a long time, and we've seen that they've been waiting for their.
that their husband's still incarcerated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Nice.
but yeah,
That is
it just definitely it was a journey.
Yeah.
We didn't, we,
that
like you
is.
said, we did not factor in everything. It was like every time, like anything else, you get married, you're like, oh, it's gonna be perfect, and the kids,
Mhm.
you have perfect kids, but you don't factor everything that goes with it. Well, I think we had it double
Yeah.
because he was
Yeah.
here.
Yeah. So yeah, it's difficult to maintain a marriage out here in the free world, as we all know, but let alone while incarcerated, it's even more difficult. So I think I told Carla is that, our best day in prison, because we had some times where we had a good time on the phone, or we had a good time visit, or we had a good marriage seminar, or they had day with dad events where she would bring the kids, and we'd spend a day together. And we did all of that because I did my best to stay out of trouble in
Mm.
order to enjoy activities like that, extra time with the family. And it was like, our best day in prison will never be better than our worst day out here, meaning that we might encounter
Yeah.
some obstacles out here, but if we survive that,
Yeah.
we can survive anything, and that's the way we look at things now, because
100%. Yeah.
that it's important to, like you said, whenever breathe, the way you said, couples that are ready to let go or because of some dirty socks on the floor or whatever, and it's like they survived prison. So we also look at that couple, which was us, that we survived incarceration, so we should be able to survive this, no matter how hard it may get some days.
That is beautiful. I think one thing that helped your marriage also helped our marriage, and that was community, right? And specifically, since you were technically around very different communities, right? You were in prison. Prison is a cesspool of different type of people, right? And I haven't been in it, but from what I've seen in movies, is it as accurate as they show it as movies? As
But
far as
depends which
like
movie.
the one that comes to mind right now is Blood In, Blood Out.
I mean, I guess in some units it can get pretty ugly. You know, like the unit that I was at was, when we first got together, was Telford unit in East Texas, and that
Hmm.
was pretty ugly. Meaning that there was a bunch of youngsters, young dudes, with a lot of time, life sentences. Some people life sentences, double life, capital life sentences, and so yeah, there was a lot of tragic things happening there,
Hmm.
and but I mean, yeah. So it was kind of like in the streets though. But if you grew up in the streets and you were able to deal with the streets, it was kind of like, okay, you get into prison. It's still somewhat like the streets, except there's a barbed wire fence keeping you in.
Yeah.
So yeah, or like in gangs and stuff like that. It was you just around that kind of lifestyle, and if you can adapt to that, it got to the point where for me it was I became somewhat numb to any incidents. If there was a tragedy that happened in the prison, and
Mm.
so, I don't even know if I can say it, but I think you know what I'm hinting at. So there was somebody that just may not be able to make it out of
Mm.
prison anymore. Then it was like, dang, well, that's messed up, man. But keep on trucking. It's like you keep on living. It ended up becoming where it was the norm. It was the norm, and you just got
Wow.
used to it. So
Yeah, and I mean, being in that environment, you really had to be intentional about the mindset that you were going in, because it's easy to. I mean, it's like they say, fish go with the flow, right? It's better to go with the flow than against it, and you had to go against the flow. You had to really stand out, and I'm sure people in there were like, "What are you doing reading books? What are you doing going to college? What are you doing? Like your wife is probably cheating on you. I don't know why you're so committed, whatever it may be." And I'm sure Carla got some pushback on her and like, "He's in prison. What are you doing? He's not out, and were you gonna wait for him until he comes out? You never know if he's gonna come out, so on and so forth." So what did you both do on each other's part? I mean, I guess technically what you did was go to a community that feeds your marriage, which were the seminars. And that is what helped our marriage, our relationship, because we were not married there yet, but our relationship got help through community, being surrounded by other people who spoke the same language when it came to relationships. And that's a great testimony of the marriage seminars that you went to. I guess my next question would be, what was kind of like the biggest lesson that helped you throughout that time from the marriage seminars?
I'll go first.
um, you touched on a couple of things. If you don't mind me going back to, like, what did we do individually? Because
Yeah.
like Carla, what she did was, we're sitting in the office, in her office. It's how long have you been here in this office?
15 years.
Little over 15 years, I think, right? 15.
No, it'll be 15 years.
Oh, okay, 15 years. So she absorbed herself. Outside of the marriage seminars happened maybe 2 to 3 years apart. So while we enjoyed though that weekend, they didn't come very often. So
Hmm.
Mhm.
she consumed herself with work, right?
Right.
She consumed herself with work, so she would not be tempted with anything else. And so I consumed myself with school when I got my education, my associate's, bachelor's, and master's, and that's what we did. So we basically,
And you
we
got all that in jail?
yes. So
Holy smokes,
I went
Junior.
to Central Texas College from I got my two associates from there, and I got my bachelor's in business administration from the A&M University while I was at the Hughes unit. And then I went to the Ramsey unit because I wanted to get my master's degree, and I got that from the University of Houston. And but going
Wow.
back, we basically, you know how the Bible says, "Iron sharpens iron."
Hmm.
We really did, because of my situation being in prison and her having her husband in prison and my wife being out there. She consumed herself with work, and I consumed myself with personal growth and development. We got married in '07, and it was 2009, I think, is when I decided to go on this collegiate journey, which at that time I was arrested when I was a senior in high school, so I did not get a chance to get my high school diploma. I got my GED in the Dallas County Jail. But in the book Surrender to Rise that I just received as well,
Nice.
a couple of days ago. So that my chapter talks about how my wife asked me this pivotal question about what are you doing with your time?
Mm.
Sitting and visit. She asked me on like just honestly just in conversation, but hey, so what do you do with your time in there? What are you doing with your time? And when she asked me that, she did not know it at the time, but it kind of stung. Like I kind of felt like she's questioning me in a sense, like, what do you mean? What am I doing with my time? Um, in prison is a big old. It's there's a saying like, "Hey, what's up, man? How you doing today?" And somebody will say, "Just doing time."
Mm.
That was the phrase, "Just
Mm.
doing time, man. Just surviving one day at a time." And so my when she asked me that, I'm like, I'm just doing my time, just trying to stay out of trouble and make it home one day. But I realized that that wasn't good enough. Just doing time, it's just floating through my incarceration was not good enough. When I have this successful, beautiful woman waiting for me, I have a son, I have younger brother and sisters, and I have my daughter, right? And it's like they come to visit me, but yet I go to visit and say I'm the different junior than I used to be. But
Mm.
where is the evidence of that? Just because I vocalize it does not mean it's necessarily true.
It's true, yeah.
So where's the action behind the words? And when she asked me, "What are you doing with your time?" That changed everything. That really made me do some introspection and ask myself, "What am I doing with my time?" Once I realized I wasn't doing much, okay, now what am I going to do with my time? And then that's whenever her and I again sat at a visitation, tell her, okay, these are the options. I can go to college, but it's probably going to require me getting transferred to another prison. And in prison, a lot of the things that we value is our space. And when we get to know people, we don't want to leave because, you know, you're going to go to another prison. You may have to fight at the other prison. You may have to go through the same initiation process in order for people to leave you alone,
Mhm.
and it's like, man, do I really want to go through all that? But we decided, yeah, let's do it. Whatever happens, happens, and we did.
Oh
And
my gosh. Hold on, Junior. I have so many questions, but I really do feel like the next part of this should be for Prospera.
All
okay,
right.
How do you guys feel?
I'm cool with that.
Yes.
Don't lose that thought, okay? Don't lose it. Don't lose it. So, we are going to stop our podcast right here, and I feel like this next part you guys need to go to Prospera TV network, which is about to start streaming on Roku, or I think it already is,
Yeah.
Hmm.
and you're going to get the rest. You guys ready?
Have this conversation with Karla and Junior.
All right. Thank you so much for tuning in to our podcast.
Well,
And then,
for the ones who are just gonna listen to the podcast, um, where can they find you?
Where can they find us?
We're on
Yeah,
social media.
socials.
He's more present than I am on social media.
We're on social media. My Facebook is JRHOLGUIN, and hers is Karla with a K, same last name. So yeah, we are. I am a little bit more active on social media, although I'm not as active as I would like to be. But yeah, that's pretty much where they can find us, or jrolguin.com. I have my domain as well, where it gets all my contact information as well.
We do have a TikTok account where we share a little bit about the marriage seminars and a little bit about our story, his journey, and I don't even know what mine is. Do you know?
Your TikTok kind of the same thing, Karla Holguin.
Oh.
Your handle may be different, but you type that in. But so that's why Junior Holguin has all those handles for your contact, our contacts. But yeah, they can find us like that, and we are pretty much an open book. So even when on TikTok, when we do some videos, and we did some, but we haven't been consistent, and pretty much an open book. People want to ask us any
You're
questions.
an open book, and you literally have a book as well.
Yes.
Literally.
Now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So there you have it. If you want to watch the rest of this episode, head over to Prospera.
Very good.
Sounds good.
Cut.